Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Let's go! Let's go!
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
Welcome to the Susan LoPresti Wellness Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, the go-to space for midlife and mature women who are ready to reclaim their health, boost their energy, and live long, vibrant, and purposeful lives. Each week, we dive deep into natural wellness, holistic healing, anti-aging strategies, and healthy lifestyle habits to help you feel your best, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether you're navigating menopause, working through chronic conditions, or simply wanting to age gracefully and intentionally, this show is your sanctuary to science-backed insights, powerful stories, and soul-nourishing inspiration. So if you're a woman if you're a woman over 40 or 50 or older looking to thrive in the next chapter of your life, you're in the right place. I'm super excited. My guest today is Dr. Lisa Koche. She is a triple board certified physician, founder of Spectra Wellness Solutions, and lead physician and speaker for Tony Robbins' Life Mastery Health Program, known for integrating science with spirit to help people reconnect mind, body, and soul. A survivor of both leukemia and heart failure, Dr. Lisa understands what it feels like to be overlooked by traditional medicine. That experience shaped her mission to help people to address the root causes of illness rather than mask symptoms. For over 2 decades, she has guided thousands to understand their bodies, advocate for their health, and begin true lasting transformation. She blends medical science, energetic alignment, and lived wisdom to make healing approachable and empowering, sharing warmth, humor, authenticity that resonate deeply with listeners. So without further ado, Dr. Lisa, welcome to my podcast. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited to have you here and to get started on this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So, the first question that I have for you, because I am really intrigued by this, your own personal journey with leukemia and heart failure is really remarkable. Can you share what it was like to navigate such serious health challenges and how you overcame and beat these two illnesses?
So, for me, what's kind of unique about my journey is that I was diagnosed at the perfect age, which was 15.
Oh my goodness.
So, I was old enough to ask questions, and I was young enough that I was not indoctrinated into a system. So that's what's pretty unique that puts me it basically when I started asking the questions like, well, why did I get sick? And I went in for a camp physical. I actually felt fine. I found they didn't have any answers. And so I decided that I would go to medical school to figure it out for myself. And what happened was during my journey of undergrad, so I got treated for 3 years. It was a very responsive cancer, luckily, to the chemo. but it was hard with obviously all the procedures and losing my hair as a teenager. And then I went off to college, and in my right before my junior year of college, they found a mass on my ovary and it ended up being hidden leukemic cells. So right when I had just started feeling better and was starting my life and my journey, I had to go back into chemo, and my parents took me up to New York because it was a rare kind of recurrence that wasn't fully a recurrence. So anyway, that ended up where that's where I went into heart failure. Was from the second round of chemotherapy induced the heart failure. And so I went to medical school asking why, and I got exposed to nutrition and supplements really early on because my uncle was a podiatrist. He researched heart failure and started sending me carnitine and CoQ10 on auto ship, which are still to this day two of the most important supplements for heart failure.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what they were, and I just took them and I got better. But, I had a 20-year-old heart also. So was it my age? Was it the supplements? But I was intrigued enough that when I went to medical school and I asked all the questions, I got, this is just how we do it. Nobody knew why anyone got sick, let alone me. I started my practice on that journey to understand it and continue to evolve and ask the questions myself. And that's what's led me to what I do today.
So, how did your experience shape your approach to medicine?
Oh, my experience was my approach. My approach was not like anyone else's because I never trusted that what they were teaching us was complete. So
Mhm.
I knew it was good for me to learn it all, but I also knew that it was dramatically incomplete, that
Yeah.
there were many things that were not known, or at least not in the circles I was there in yet. So I went through my residency, for example. I picked internal medicine because that seemed the broadest in terms of filling in the gaps. And then I knew early on that I wanted to, at least, if we didn't know why people got these things, I wanted to at least work on preventing them. So
Mhm.
I literally forged my own path, starting with my immediate first job. So my first job when I got out of residency, there were a lot of opportunities in general internal medicine for double what I ended up getting paid. And I took instead a position with a group of cardiologists trying to prevent cardiovascular disease. And I basically made my own fellowship where I studied nutrition and vascular and all types of other, like I followed the people that I found to be the most interesting. So I created a collaborative clinic and approach back then. And so I got turned on to anti-aging and regenerative medicine way before it was such a popular thing because
Yeah.
it filled in some of the gaps that I was looking for.
So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
Wow, that's wonderful. So you were like a pioneer in this in this area. So do you notice that many people feel overlooked or dismissed by traditional medicine?
Absolutely. I love that you're asking that because, unfortunately, I've had my own journey with that too. But I'd also would watch my patients and they'd come in after being everywhere else, and they knew I was willing to sit with them and listen and go deeper to explore alternative options. And at times I even learned from my patients. They would come in saying, well, I found this guy who's doing really cool stuff with integrative thyroid, and they would recommend a book and then I would go check it out. So it was always little more collaborative with me and my
Mm-hmm.
patients. And one particular incidents, I've always seen them overlooked, because the patients would come in and tell me, pretty much everyone. But I had the experience myself. So when I had my daughter, at postpartum, I crashed my immune system. So I had done pretty well between my chemo and the heart failure, and then nobody even knew if I could get pregnant because they had to take out an ovary, and I'd had all that chemo. But I got pregnant on my first try with her, and postpartum, I did fine. My heart was a little funny at the end, but after I delivered her, I got Hashimoto's and psoriasis and extreme exhaustion, sinus problems, issues with my eyes. So I had to go back to some traditional people. And one particular visit was a eye doctor that I was really excited because he was a thyroid eye specialist and I was having this severe pain in my eyes. And instead of answering my questions, when he just wanted to operate, and when I left and I didn't make the appointment, I think there was a button under the desk because he came running out of another room and said, "What's the issue? Why aren't you scheduling this surgery?" And I said, "Because I'm just gonna, wait and I'm gonna read up and decide then later." And it was, to make it short, a couple months later, I got a letter firing me from his practice for non-compliance. I went into my car that day so angry and also so sad and crying because of all the patients that didn't know to say no,
Yeah.
that are getting this surgery because I never had my eyes operated on. I kept searching and found a naturopath and muscle testing and all the different things I do now, and I was able to heal my body enough that I didn't need that. So, yes, 100% people gaslit, people frustrated, people who've tried everything, people who've been minimized, people who've been criticized. And it's not even, in a lot of cases, it is the doctor potentially, but in most cases, it's not the doctor, it's the system. The doctors mean well overall. I get really frustrated when people just want to throw the doctors out, like that it's the doctor's fault. It's a system that's not taught to look for the cause.
Right.
And the doctors get really frustrated because they don't have the skill set or the knowledge to that there's more out there. So they may get frustrated over time. Even if they're kind about it, they may not have, ideas or options for the patients. And the training costs a lot of money. You're out of clinic for a long, it's not something everybody can do.
Yeah.
So, that's that I try to have the compassion on both sides.
So would you say that you're more of a functional medicine
Mhm.
doctor?
Yeah.
Yes.
So functional medicine looks at the cause, at the root cause.
Yes.
There's now more beyond functional medicine too. So in a lot of ways, functional medicine has brought in great things, but it's also incomplete. And that's, I think, because it's the nature of medicine. Science and medicine is supposed to be an art and a practice and an evolution. So thinking that any one thing has all the answers when what we believe today, we could prove wrong tomorrow, or not even wrong, just again, incomplete. Like I give an
Yeah.
example when I speak about water, we always thought water had three main phases: liquid, solid, and gas, right? So it's
Yes.
liquid when we drink it, it's ice and it's steam. And it turns out several years back, they found out there's a fourth phase of water, and it's a gel consistency that
Really?
conducts electrical. Yeah. So there's many, many things that we just don't know yet.
Yeah. Yes. But as far as functional medicine, what do you think is still missing from that piece?
Well, I think it's another step. So what my program that I've worked on creating through my years of practice includes the fact that functional medicine's more along the lines of supporting, maybe it's thyroid and adrenals and
Yes.
your hormones, and potentially working on your nervous system, and then looking for causes like leaky gut and infections and toxins. And those are all super important, and getting on people on lots of different supplements. But there's more that we keep learning. So there's things like mitochondrial biogenesis, which is a great big word that just basically means you can make new mitochondria, which gives you more energy. That's not historically been a big part taught in functional medicine. There's an entire world of quantum biology that's coming out now, which is studying particles at a much smaller size and how they impact each other, and it's a new type of physics. So it's just there's a lot of new things that are
It's
coming out.
always evolving, right?
Correct.
Yes, I get it. So you've worked with a lot of patients over the past 2 decades. What patterns have you noticed about what keeps people from achieving lasting health?
Mostly it is the patterns that they have with themselves, in my opinion. So a lot of self-sacrificial, people-pleasing, accommodator energy where people end up sort of serving or merging into others, whether it's their kids or taking care of their parents or their jobs or social media, like they're just not present in their vessel. So
Yeah,
when people are living like that, it's really hard to have any kind of sustained healing. And so that's allowed, and it's also been part of my own personal journey. Everything I do is part of my own personal journey.
yeah,
So as I've reclaimed my own role in that and my own journey with that, I see the patterns in everyone I see. And until they can claim their own responsibility in their journey, they're only going to get so much improvement.
yeah. So in your bio, I noticed that you're known for blending medical science with energy work and spiritual alignment, which is, I absolutely love that. So can you explain how these approaches work together to support healing?
Sure. So that's exactly what we were just talking about. So like I'll pull from like I do a lot of study of Kabbalah, which is an
Yeah,
ancient kind of technology for spiritual guidance that helps people with reactivity and understanding their own role and helps them get out of victim mode. So that's been very powerful for my own journey, and so it helps a lot of my patients getting them to, but even to get to that place, a lot of times when patients first come in, they're so reactive, they're so exhausted, and they're in that victim space. So talking to them about, one of the main things I do is I spend time the first visit really going through their history in a lot more detail, and I can find where triggers happened in their lives, like whether it was, early childhood stuff to bad relationships to the self-sacrifice in a job that they hate. And as I explore that with them, we can look at, for example, why do women have such a higher incidence of thyroid problems? And it's classic because it's like 5 to 1 or maybe even more to men. And it has to do with not using your voice. Because if you think
yes,
about where the thyroid is, it's right on top of the throat chakra, right? Which,
that's me.
yeah,
I have
that,
Hashimoto's,
yeah,
and I
it's
know that's
most.
why I got it.
It is, right? Me too. Me too.
Yes.
So once patients understand there's that tie, because I think in this culture we've been so trained and culturally conditioned to, especially as women, to just serve, right? That's kind of just a serving lineage. And in some ways men do as well, but when we don't put the connection together, that if we sacrifice and serve over and over, that we can get physical illness. Like there's a big disconnect there where people don't understand that or honor it. So
Mhm.
a lot of times just bringing that up is helpful. But at the beginning, very often I need to bring people back into their body and help them calm their nervous system down before we can even get into the deeper understanding of these concepts.
Yes. Yes. I was going through a divorce when I was in my 40s. And in order to keep peace in the household, coherent, and I just did not voice my opinion at all. And it was a stressful time. It was
Yeah.
very trying. And when it was all said and done, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And I knew it had to do with me not speaking my truth, holding back, always taking care of the other person, making sure
Accommodating.
they felt good, they were happy, they were pleased. It didn't matter what I wanted.
Right.
So, yes, it certainly is all together. Definitely.
Yes, and it's honestly like 80% of the patients I see, they have sacrificed, and another, I mean, any kind of autoimmune issue is very common in these scenarios. But
Yeah.
even just exhaustion, the normal things that we see, because what happens is when you're in constant fight or flight, and sometimes it's not even the active part of the divorce or whatever people are going through. It can be subconscious from childhood or teenage years, and it doesn't even have to be massive trauma. So
Right.
that's just where I think it's like almost pretty much anyone these days has this, and it can loop in the subconscious. And when it does that, you're kind of like bleeding energy, is how I describe it. So
Yeah.
when you've got these loops going, activating your nervous system, your thyroid, your hormones, your adrenals, your mitochondria, they can't work as well because they get burned out from kind of trying to support you through this looping.
Yes. So, for someone listening on here that's new to integrative approach to medicine, what are simple ways that they could start tuning into their body's wisdom while still respecting medical advice?
Yes, I love that question. There's a lot of ways. So the beautiful thing is a lot of these ways are completely free. So the first would be just reconnecting to nature. So most people are so busy, whether it's raising kids or trying to balance a career and family, or busy with your spouse and just day in and day out, and this culture is not connected to the earth. So we're meant to be outside, not under fluorescent lights and blue screens all day. So something as simple as ideally getting the first thing in the morning is the best time. We now have a lot of scientific evidence that exposure to the early morning sun provides rays that our bodies need. So it's been maybe the past 15 years or so that they've discovered something called biophotons and biophotonic receptors, which basically means that our cells have receptors to light, which is really wild. So we've never thought about light as something we need or something that's helpful, but it also can go the other way, where if we're getting too much blue light or fluorescent light, it can actually hurt the cells. So the
Yes.
first thing I would just have everyone do is in the morning, if you have the ability, even for 5 minutes, instead of immediately going off to the races and the phone and the scrolling and what we all do, if you can get out of bed, ideally get somewhere where you can get sun exposure. I do prefer if you can go outside and actually put your feet in the grass, that's even better, but some
Yes.
people can't. So even just getting on a balcony or leaning up on a tree, because I know it's also cold now, but where if you can connect to the earth in some way, again, grass, tree, take off glasses because you want the sun to get into your eyes. You don't want to stare right at it, but if you can be outside without glasses or before you put contacts in, and take a minute, whether it's a free meditation on YouTube. If you've never tried to meditate, you can search guided meditation on YouTube
Mhm.
and just be outside and then breathe. That would be the other big piece I would suggest that's also free, is using the breath. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can, like, I usually recommend people start with box breathing, which
Yeah.
basically means, you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, like a box.
Right.
Like those, If most people listening just did those two things, they would be dramatically helping themselves, and they're free.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Where is Daredevil? I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
I'm gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
I love that advice. I love it. Absolutely. How can people recognize the early signs that their body is out of balance before the symptoms escalate into a serious disease?
So another great question. There are now devices out that can become overwhelming if you go too far with them, but there are some devices like the Aura Ring or the
Yes.
Whoop that can help track you. So you may think you're sleeping well, for example. You may think you get enough steps in. You may think you're healthy. These biomarking tracking devices can actually be somewhat helpful. They can also go too far the other way, but if you wear the Aura Ring, there's a measurement called heart rate variability, or HRV. And in general, the higher it is, the better. What it measures is when your heart beats, it's not supposed to be exactly even in between heartbeats. You would think so, but that's not the case. It's supposed to be a little more variable. That's where the name came. So heart rate variability, the higher it is as a general rule, the more resilience, the more health you have. So if it's low, it can be a sign that you're going to be more prone or likely to have an issue down the line, even if you feel okay. So that's one marker. Like, that's a way to measure. You can also measure your REM sleep and make sure you're actually getting restorative deep sleep, which can help prevent diagnoses and problems from coming.
Would the Aura Ring provide that information as well?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
And what I
Okay.
like about that ring is you can sleep with it in airplane mode, so you're not getting EMFs in your field.
Oh,
Plus, it doesn't distract you. I don't really like the Apple Watch or trackers that are also buzzing and taking you,
Yeah.
distracting you more than, because people are distracted enough without it. I'm not a big fan of that device. But also just even your resting heart rate. Like, people can just look, if your resting heart rate is like 90 or 100, there's
Is that
probably-
ideal to be at 100
No,
or
it's too high.
90 is?
Resting is good to be around anywhere from like 55 or 60 to 90 at the most. So, and a lot of people are higher than that.
And is that the heart rate variability?
No, that's
or-
just a baseline. I'm just saying,
Oh.
if you don't want to get a ring,
Yeah.
people can just literally put their finger on their pulse and count what their heartbeat is in a minute.
Okay, got you. Can you share an example of a patient's transformation that demonstrates the power of addressing root causes rather than just masking symptoms?
Absolutely. We had a lady who's been in here seeking alternative care for chronic pain and autoimmune illness. And she, even with all of our care, was only getting a little bit better. And there is a device that a psychiatrist came up with in Pittsburgh that I've really been utilizing with my patients a lot, and it's just vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And it treats you with vibration based on different emotions. And this woman came in one day about 3 months ago, and she looked really good. Like, there was blood in her face and she had energy. And I was like, wow, what'd you do? Like, what's different? Because we had been doing a lot of the typical functional medicine things with her. And it was that device. She had found that device which calms down the nervous system because our cells know how to heal when they're given the right signals.
Yeah.
So that for that particular case, and then I laughed because I asked her, "Oh my God, you found this device that's so great." And she's like, "What do you mean I found it? It was from your office." So I guess she had called in for something and my team got her to no guided her to where to buy this device. So that's just one interesting little scenario that just happened. But then I've had lots of cases of like people with like Graves' disease, and when we treated them for parasites, their Graves' disease got under control.
Wow.
So there are a lot of just root cause when you start at the beginning, which is almost always the gut. Well, first it's calming the nervous system and supporting the body and working on nutrition because people need to change, they still need to do all the basics.
Yes.
Then we can get them into, healing the gut, working on parasites, making sure there's not mold in their environment. And a lot of times chronic issues will finally go away.
Wow. That's wonderful. How does mindset influence physical health and physical healing, I should say?
Yeah. Well, that's everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're in a victim mindset that everything is happening to you, things will continue to happen to you. When
Yes.
we understand that they're happening for you, and we're up to the challenge of how do I take responsibility for my own actions? How can I stay positive and work on reactivity? Then I see people's, not just their health. This is the exciting part, is it's not just health, it's their entire life.
Yeah.
So they'll start manifesting, calling in new opportunities, building, repairing a strained relationship with their brother, lots of things like that. I've also seen when I started, I've worked on lots of different kind of meal plans, and I'm always ahead of the curve historically with things like, let's say, the ketogenic diet, which is not something I recommend people do long term, but it can help you can help short term for sure. And when I first started really playing with it, what struck me is that people were coming in for their follow-up and they were having life changes. So they felt so much more clear mentally. They were starting to change their mindset. They were starting to take responsibility. And like I had one person come in and say, "Well, I didn't lose that much weight yet, but I stopped drinking. I realized I have an alcohol problem."
Wow.
Or I just decided I need a divorce. I've been on the fence. Like more clarity coming in.
Yes.
And so it works both ways. Like sometimes we have to clean up the body and the diet a little first for the mindset to shift. A lot of times the mindset has to shift to make any lasting changes. They work hand in hand.
Yes. Do you see patients virtually?
We do to a certain degree. We are not able to do that based on licensure in the state. So I see people virtually in the state of Florida, but we also are developing, we're about to move into an 8,000 square foot facility where we're bringing community into medicine, and we're creating a lot of destination healing opportunities.
Oh, very
So
nice.
people can fly into Tampa and do a 3-day, 5-day, or 10-day experience, and they can benefit from all the different things that we do and then follow up with our health coaches. So we're trying to work on ways that people can get access to this care.
So you're based in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of your favorite techniques for energetic alignment that anyone could integrate into their day?
Well, the early morning sun gazing and grounding
Yes.
is one.
I love that.
I do like a specific type of journaling, which if you just all you need is a notebook. So if you want to write at night, just take a minute, get yourself centered, and write as if everything's already great. I feel wonderful. I have a job I love. And you don't need to be specific about the details. You want to let the universe handle that.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, flipping to a fresh page and allow yourself the space to kind of vomit out whatever you need to get out. I'm sick of this. I hate my job. I don't know what to do next. Give yourself that space. And then those pages, take them, rip them out and rip them up so that if one that were to find your journal, it would just be positive things.
Yeah.
That's a helpful,
I
because
love
pen
that.
to paper, we know helps the brain. And that's another kind of free one. The other thing I personally use that has been absolutely a lifesaver over and over and over again is soaking with Epsom. But
Yes.
I don't just soak a little with Epsom. So I recommend people get into a small tub, not like a big soaking tub. And if you don't have a bathtub, you can use a foot soak and get big bag of Epsom. And I use like a third of the bag per bath, along with essential oils that are organic. I light a candle that's organic. You have to be careful with candles.
Yeah.
Put on a meditation or other types of music. Sometimes some other oils that I'll add to the bath. And I ask the water to clear my field of anything that's not for my higher good. And then I'll soak for 15 minutes. I used to take a lot more showers than I do now because now I end up craving the clearing benefits because the bath will clear your energy field.
Yeah. I love an Epsom salt bath,
Yeah.
and I put a lot of it in as well.
Good.
I
That's
love
good.
that. I also want to talk because you're a lead physician and speaker for Tony Robbins, who he's like my idol, for his Life Mastery Health Program. What insights have you gained about personal transformation and health through that program? And are there strategies from the Life Mastery that listeners can apply to their own wellness journey immediately?
So I kind of kick off the event. Tony's not directly involved in that particular one.
Uh-huh.
But through the person that has been his co-anchor, Lauren Lahav, she's incredible. She's been working with Tony since he was 18.
Wow.
I think just changing your state is the most powerful one. That's like what he's most known for, but it does definitely, you get to witness it because in the studio that he has in West Palm Beach, which is a virtual studio that he is so impressive that he opened during COVID, there's a trampoline on the stage. So like backstage and on the stage, you can change your state by moving blood through the body. So that could be something that people can do at home as well. Like if you're about to go into a difficult conversation, or let's say you have a presentation at work, you can just jump up and down or turn on some music or like different mantras to pump yourself up. Those are some of the things that have definitely stuck with me. And then the event that the Life Mastery program is all about addressing different aspects of your life. And there's a definite change in the diet that occurs during that event and pulling out all the processed food and adding in some celery juice, organic celery that is really good for detoxification is something that we do. Using cold shower, ending your shower with the cold to start getting your body comfortable with a little bit of discomfort. That's not a Tony thing, but that's something that the patients all or the attendees all do in that particular 4 days or 5 days that the event lasts.
Wow. That sounds great. Do
Yeah.
you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave my listeners with today?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that you don't need to be frustrated by the influencers that are out there telling you what you need to do. So I see a big disservice in people that are ready to make some changes because a lot of times they'll look it up and they'll start listening to some of these biohacking people or influencers that are all, in a certain degree, they tend to just copy what the next person is saying.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of what they're saying is intimidating for people that are just starting out, because you don't have to make dramatic changes at once. It can be one thing. So that's probably my biggest advice, is just pick one thing. And if that is taking your coffee outside on your terrace, or if that is journaling or taking a bath, just start with any one thing is a great place to begin, because once you do one thing and then you start feeling a little bit better, then you can bring in the next. And so my book is coming out next year. It's about a year from now on the published date, but it's called The Unwritten Prescription. So it's all the things that weren't given to you in a doctor setting that you can be also doing on your own, a lot of them.
What would be one thing you would recommend? If you had to give one recommendation of something to improve or change, what would it be?
Well, I mean, outside of the sunlight in the morning, you mean?
Yeah.
Probably taking responsibility for what you're eating and drinking.
Yes.
I think it's like people get tired of hearing it and they just want to go on their way and do what they do because they don't want to, but they think it has to be some strict diet, and it doesn't. So that's where I see the disconnect from the vessel. Like, people are just out here, so they don't think that grabbing something processed or not drinking enough healthy, clean water, potentially with electrolytes in it, they don't think it's going to bother them. And there's a huge benefit that can come from just having that awareness.
This episode is brought to you by Palmolive. Family time isn't just the big moments. It's weeknight dinners, sitting around the table, everyone talking all at once. So when the plates are empty and the sink is full, use Palmolive Ultra. Palmolive's most powerful formula removes up to 99.9% of grease, leaving your dishes sparkling clean. And the new convenient pump makes cleaning even easier, so you can spend less time tackling dishes and more time together. Shop now at palmolive.com.
Yeah. That's great information. Thank you, Doctor. This was such a pleasure. I wish I lived in Tampa and come see you.
Well, you have to fly in and do some of our destinations. We've got it. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So that your listeners, and you can look at Spectra Wellness, which is our website in Tampa, Spectra Wellness. Okay. And we will have those destination services starting after the 1st January or February.
Okay, I'll put all of that information in the show notes for the listeners.
Okay, great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today on Susan LoPresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul. Dr. Lisa's journey reminds us that true healing is never one-dimensional. It's the beautiful blend of science, spirit, and self-advocacy, and the courage to listen deeply to what our bodies are trying to tell us. If today's conversation resonated with you, I hope it inspires you to take that next small step toward your own transformation. You deserve to feel vibrant, aligned, and fully connected to your whole self. Be sure to follow Dr. Lisa and explore her work with Spectra Wellness Solutions and the Life Mastery Health Program. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who needs a dose of hope and empowerment today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until the next time, take care of your mind, nourish your body, and honor your soul. I'll see you next time.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.